What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to be going over a Delta Force operation, a raid they did on a prison, which is pretty crazy. You guys have been begging me for more Delta content here on the channel, so that's what I'm finally bringing you guys today. If you guys enjoy this video and you want to see more Delta related stuff, some combat footage, some stories, all that good stuff, definitely let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll work on finding some more Delta stuff for you guys. You guys seem to love all the tier 1 content, the Delta Force, the Dev Crew, all that stuff. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoy the video. Thank you so much for checking out. If you do enjoy this video, please hit that like button. It helps me out so much. My God, YouTube hates us. I just spent the last 4 hours trying to get another Delta Force video. 4 hours trying to get it to actually upload. It just kept getting striked or demonetized or just like completely blocked from being uploaded. So I finally was just like, forget it. We're going to change lanes and do a whole nother different Delta story. So if you guys could hit that like button to just, I don't even know, help me fight against YouTube. It seems like the like button kind of helps break past the little shadow ban stuff that we always seem to have going on this channel. So any support helps a lot. But of course, if you guys actually end up not enjoying this video, obviously just hit the dislike button and leave me a comment. Let me know what I can do to improve in my future videos. Any and all feedback is greatly appreciated here. So thank you guys for that. But with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Enough of me blabbering on. Let's go ahead and jump into today's story. Shortly after the September 11th terrorist attacks, Thomas Paine sat in his high school classroom and listened to his teacher solemnly tell him and his classmates that their generation had a fight to win. And in that moment, Thomas knew his country needed him, and he knew exactly what he wanted to do with his life. And 10 months later, Thomas Paine shipped off to basic training. Since then, he has deployed 17 times to combat zones as a member of the 75th Ranger Regiment and in various positions with the U.S. Army Special Operations Command. In 2010, he was wounded by a grenade blast in Afghanistan, but later recovered and went on to win the Army's Best Ranger competition just 2 years later in 2012. While deployed again in 2015, Paine was a part of a joint task force that was assisting Iraqi security forces with raiding an ISIS-controlled prison in northern Iraq. While the task force was still gathering intel about the prison and coming up with a good plan for raiding it, they received horrifying intelligence that the terrorists were planning to massacre every captive in the prison. So Paine and his team quickly raced into action that night. And in the dead of night, the task force was dropped off near the prison by CH-47 Chinook helicopters. Paine and a few members of the task force then climbed over a tall wall into the prison compound. Inside the compound were two heavily fortified buildings, both believed to be holding a large amount of hostages. So they split the task force right down the middle. At this point, Paine was assisting as team leader for the task force, so he led one team towards building 1, while the team leader took the other half of the task force and went after building 2. Once inside building 1, Paine and the team dealt with some light enemy resistance and then used bolt cutters to pierce through the locks of a prison door, freeing nearly 40 hostages. Paine and the others then heard an urgent call for help over the radio from the other half of the task force. They were engaged in an intense firefight at the second building. Paine quickly turned to his fellow soldiers and said, "Let's get into this fight." The team then maneuvered about 30 yards to the heavily fortified building, which at this point was partially on fire. Once there, the team used a ladder to climb onto the roof of the one-story building while the enemy was distracted by the other half of the task force. And directly underneath them, there are several enemy machine gunners laying down suppressive fire on the other half of the task force through the windows. So from a vantage point from the roof, they engaged the enemies with grenades and small arms fire. They were able to quickly take out almost all of the insurgents in the room beneath them, but unfortunately, the wounded enemy insurgents then started to set off their suicide vests. Thankfully, Paine and the team were able to quickly get off of the roof, but at this point, the building is on fire and about to collapse in on itself. There are still suicide vests cracking off every couple seconds and enemy soldiers still in the building shooting at them. And there are hostages stuck right in the middle of all of this chaos. Payne knew that the hostages did not have long before they were either burned alive by the fire, killed by suicide bombers, or crushed by the building collapsing on top of them. So him and his team quickly rushed into the building, and the Rangers violently fought through the fire, bullets, and explosions. And in classic Ranger fashion, they very quickly killed every enemy insurgent in the building. The team then found all of the hostages locked behind a barricaded door with numerous locks on it. But at this point, the room with the barricaded door was so full of smoke that the team couldn't breathe at all in there. So they had to take turns going in one at a time on a breath hold, cutting one lock and then coming back out for air. Payne went in first, holding his breath, cutting out the first lock, and then went back out and handed the bolt cutters to one of their Iraqi partners, who rushed in, cut another lock, and then came back out. Payne then quickly took the tool out of the man's hand and rushed back in for another time, cutting off the last lock and kicking the door open. Completely surrounded by fire and smoke, and with parts of the building now collapsing, Payne guided and carried hostages through the smoke, escorting more than 30 hostages out of the burning building. And with complete disregard for his own safety, Payne then re-entered the building 2 more times, navigating his way through the smoke just to be certain that every single hostage was out. And on the last time he entered the building, he had to forcibly remove one of the hostages who was too frightened to move from their position in the chaotic scene. He made sure he was the last man out of that building, no matter what the cost. It was one of the largest and most daring rescue missions in American history. The mission left one U.S. soldier, Master Sergeant Josh Wheeler, and at least 20 insurgents dead. Payne was initially awarded the Army's second highest award, the Distinguished Service Cross, but was later upgraded to a Medal of Honor. And at his award ceremony, Donald Trump said, "Our nation endures because fearless warriors like Josh Wheeler are willing to lay down their lives for our freedom. Our children can grow up in peace because Josh had the courage to face down evil. Our debt to him and to you, Thomas Payne, is everlasting." Payne currently serves as an instructor at the U.S. Army Special Operations Command, where he trains the next generation of American warriors. And with that, that's going to be the end of today's video. Thank you guys so much for checking it out. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. But you guys know the drill. If for any reason at all you don't enjoy this video, feel free to hit that dislike button and leave me a comment down below letting me know what I can do to improve my future videos. Any and all feedback is greatly appreciated here. But I hope you guys will have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next video.